Hey, good morning, everybody. Today's live is a little different, as you can see. We're in the gym. We're going to be talking about immobility. Now, first, let me show you. This is the back of the gym, but let me show you my gym. This is my favorite place in the house, people. All right, so this little talk was inspired by Twala, who said she was surprised. I think she was surprised she couldn't do an overhead squat. And that is super common, and a couple people even commented they have the same issue. So I thought I would do like a immobility 101. Now, what I'm going to share with you is not a complete set or a complete answer to all the symptoms, but you can put in your comment. If there's something I don't cover and it's your favorite stretch, go ahead and put it in the comments. I've kind of jumped ahead, so let me back up. What we're going to talk about is common symptoms that I've seen. I used to train people in my gym, and I had a number of people. And and I also have a functional movement screening test that helped me identify immobilities and then exercises to correct them. So we're going to talk about common symptoms, tests that you can do to see if you have an immobility, a potential immobility, and then some corrective exercises that you can do to fix any issues you might have. Now, you'll have to bear with me as I do. I'm going to move around the gym, and I hope this all works. I haven't really done a dry run, so bear with me. First of all, let's talk about what causes immobilities. And the biggest thing I saw was sitting, right? A lot of us work in the office, we're at the computer, so our shoulders are rounding. That creates a tightness in the thoracic spine and the shoulders, which can affect your overhead movement patterns. Also, the sitting. Hip flexors get tight, glutes turn off for sitting too long, and that causes issues again with your squatting. Injuries can cause immobility. So there's many reasons, and I think as we age, they just become more prevalent. All right. The other thing I want to say or just point out to you that mobility and flexibility aren't the same. So mobility is that range of motion, the control that you have during the movement. Flexibility is more the length of your muscles. So think like hamstring stretch. Now, if it's a standing hamstring stretch, well, there is some mobility in the lower back, but it's primarily the lengthening or the flexibility of the hamstrings. And that's one thing that I did notice. A lot of people, particularly if they're sitting, had tight hamstrings. So we're going to go over a little test to help you correct that. A corrective exercise that you can pull into your warm-up or your cool-down to help with those. Okay, so common mobility issues happen in your ankles, your hips, or your thoracic spine or your shoulders, okay? Now, if you've got ankle immobility, you might have balance issues or knee pain. That's a telltale sign. And we're going to go over some corrective moves for your ankle mobility. Hips, lower back pain, posture issues. A test you can do is a deep squat. I didn't practice this, but I'm going to show you guys. So I think everyone knows what a deep squat is. You should be able to squat down where your hips break parallel, like your body stays upright. Okay? If you cannot do that, you could have immobility issues, ankle and or hips. Thoracic spine, as I said, can affect your overhead movement patterns. I'm going to show you something you can do for that. And a good test you can do, you should be able to put your two hands, hope I'm in the view. Yeah, you should be able to put your one hand behind your back, the other over your shoulder, and you should be able to touch your fingertips. If you can't, potentially there are issues or immobility in your thoracic spine. All right, so I wanted to talk about fixes. This is where I have to move, and I don't know how to pause a live, so I'm not going to try. I'm just going to take you with me over to a different part of the gym. So for ankle flexion, what I want you to do is find a place against a wall, and you're going to put your foot, your toe, about an inch from the wall. Now, you should be able to touch your knee to the wall at about an inch and a half. And then you can pull it back and see how much flexion you have. The heel has to stay down toes, everything's flat, but your knee should be able to pass your toe. Now, when you start, maybe you're super close and you can't do it, so do 10 of these in your warm-up, and then the next time, just try and pull that foot back. Do 10 more, and you'll just progress so that you can do it where your foot is 2 inches, 3 inches off of the wall. So that's ankle mobility. For hips, a couple of things, like I talked about, when we sit a long time, our hip flexors get really tight. You guys are aware, and you're probably doing the hip flexor stretch, but if you're having trouble with your squats, I'd encourage you to do 10, maybe they're dynamic. So you're stretching this muscle and you're gonna reach forward and really feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Another thing, as I shared, is tight hamstrings can affect our squat. So you're gonna put one leg, find a doorway, and one leg is straight up with your bum touching. The other leg is straight. It's hard to see, but you're gonna move the opposite leg up and down, keeping them both straight. Now, when I've seen people with tight hip flexor, or tight hamstrings, sometimes they can't get their butt to the wall, so they might be 3 inches off. You might start here, but try and keep your leg straight and bring the other leg up beside it for 10, and do both sides, of course. What did I want to say? I forget. Anyway, sorry. Tight hamstrings. The other one I like for hip mobility is a 90-90 stretch. Again, it's hard to, you guys can Google it if you can't see me, but your feet, I've got my legs, both legs at 90, and then I just rotate back and forth. All right, and then I want to show you wall angels. Oh, actually, okay. So if you can't put your two hands together for like your shoulder blades, what you want to do is a wall angel. So you find a place against the wall. My lower back's against the wall, my elbow and my wrist. Both hands, obviously. And you need to keep your lower back, elbow and wrist in contact with the wall and be able to lift your both hands up over your head. Again, don't cause pain. Oh, that's what I wanted to say when I was doing the hamstring. Don't cause any pain to yourself. You probably feel the stretch, but no pain. So when people first do this, keep your lower back against the wall. Sometimes their wrist is like this, and maybe their elbow's even off. But do 10 in your warm-up, and then each day just try and get more contact with the wall as you progress. It might take some weeks to get you where you want to be, but keep at it. I remember when I was training people inside my gym, and she was a older athlete, like I think at the time she was 60, and she was a dancer, and I had them do the wall angel as part of their warm-up, and I swear to you, she looked at me like as if I'm paying you and that's what you're going to tell me. Anyway, she goes to the wall. She's blown away that she can't do that simple move. Again, a dancer, she felt she knew her body. She felt she was pretty mobile and had the capacity to do it. Anyway, she was so mortified she couldn't do it. She tried it every day for 2 weeks. When she came back in 2 weeks, she could do it. So you can correct these immobilities. I hope that helps somebody today. Let your coach know if you need any help. You can post questions in the comments. Tag me so I don't miss them. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.